the ego is the protector of the wounded inner child. So the ego comes to our defense anytime we feel threatened by life, by society, because we were vulnerable little children when things went awry, and we learned how to cope with them based on our family dynamics. So we're still using those same coping skills, even though we're older. We know how to take care of and how to protect ourselves until the ego comes in like a bull in a china shop and sends us back to the old temper tantrum, the old withdrawal, the old hide. So we have to acknowledge the ego. We're never going to get rid of it. We need it. But when we embrace it, we can kind of tell the ego, hey, it's okay. I got this. I got this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Authentic Conversations.
Hi, everyone. Hello, Susan. Thank you so much for joining us, everyone. How are you, Susan, today?
I'm as fabulous as they get, because really the choice is when you wake up in the morning, you can either be fabulous or not. So it's just going to be fabulous.
That's how it goes. And we just had another round around the sun. Is that correct?
Oh, we just skipped our way around the sun 365 more days, 50 plus some years. And yeah, no, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Celebrations. Oh, yes. So very grateful for that. So
We talk about this all the time, right? There's markers, right? So whether it's your birthday or January 1st or the anniversary of something really, important or impactful, we use that to reflect. So, what have I gotten done the last 5 years? A lot has happened, and so yeah. So I like the day of birth to appreciate, each and every one of those, significant moments over the past 12 months or 24 or 36 or 48 or 60 or 57 years, whatever it is. So yeah.
it is, and this month I've had a lot of people in my life that I was never aware that had so many birthdays happening. And like, I'm amazed. I mean, we just had our beautiful guest come over and talk about birth charts and the signs. And, we kind of joke about like, oh, Sagittarius and Cancer, kind of like water signs and awareness, right? We're always talking about the awareness key of what's around us and our community.
Did you
And
just call
wow,
me wait, let's go back
wait,
to
are you not a
did
Sagittarius?
did you
What are
just call
you?
me a Sagittarius? Because I
Oh,
am not a Sagittarius. It starts with the same letter. What am I, Amarellis?
oh no, then forget it. So now Sagittarius is in my mind. Are you a Scorpio?
Oh,
No,
yes. Oh, yes.
it's a Scorpio.
It is
Scorpio
Scorpio.
season.
Yeah.
God, how did I get it wrong? I mean, I've only had I honestly, I think there's been 7 Scorpios right now that
Yeah.
I have to deal with.
You're just glossing right over us. Whoop, moving right through. So,
Almost 8. Okay, if I really count, I think I have like 8 or 9. When
yes.
is your sign over? Like the crust of it?
I believe it's the 24th of November.
Okay, so my father's a 29. So thank God, like, whoo. But it's beautiful to see the surroundings of people around you that are like celebrating, life and
Yeah.
being here and trying to keep up. I'm the worst with birthdays. I'm like, oh, I'm 2 days late. But I'm very like, I like to send a text message. Back in the days, I'm sure it was a card. But that acknowledgement was not just on Facebook or Instagram. So it's
Right.
beautiful to see all my loved ones celebrating this month, their birth. So
Yeah. And so your birth represents your impact, right? Because, without birth, there is no life, and without life, there is no opportunity to to make a difference or to be impactful. And, people think that there has to be this like wholesale, full on, like, I'm a movie star, I'm a billionaire, I'm in charge of the American Red Cross, like whatever that is, in order to be impactful. But like, we can make an impact every day by showing up as our best version of ourselves. Today's best version of myself, and today's best version of myself may not match last Sunday's best version of myself. It may not match next Sunday's best version of myself, but it's today's best version of myself. And whatever it is in my authenticity that I can show, someone can glean something from.
So I know that we get happy when it's birthday times, and I know that we want to make people special.
That's an assumption.
Okay. But also, I know of us who get sad during our birthday because, like you just mentioned, where we start looking back and start categorizing where was I or what happened, and now here I am. What do we, how do we help
Yeah, so
our friends?
that's really attachment. When we start to it's two things, right? So it's attachment to outcomes. I should be further along. I should be doing something different. I should have done something differently. I should be paying attention to X. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And the truth is you're exactly where you should be. So where you should be, where you need to be, where you will yourself to be, where you've created yourself to be. Um, but the other part is when you are glancing in that rearview mirror, that tiny little mirror that just gives you an opportunity to take a quick glance, because if you take your eyes off of what's happening now, it better be purposeful. Right? So why are we looking at the lack? Right? Why are we looking at all the things that we didn't do when there were so many things that we did do? And that's a mindset piece. So it's two parts. It's like attaching to outcomes or expectations,
Mhm.
and glass half empty, glass half full. Are you looking at what you've accomplished with the hopes of using that as a springboard to continue to grow? Or are you beating yourself up in a place of judgment, for the things that didn't meet your expectations, that
Hmm.
didn't go the way society expected it to go, or you expected it to go?
Yeah, I mean, we think of celebrations and then we bog ourselves down if we're not having enough of a big party. Or how many friends are we inviting? Or are we, everyone is always asking, what are you doing for your birthday? What are you doing for your birthday? And for me lately, it has become such a energy drainer that I don't want to do nothing.
Yeah.
I literally want to just be in the moment, like sitting down and just kind of like, because I used to make it such a big deal, and now I'm like, I just need to be here, like just
Expectations and letdowns.
yeah.
A big deal externally, because internally we're looking at wrinkles and we're counting years, and we're noticing changes in our body, and we're feeling whatever it is. So we try to mask that. It's the same kind of thing as overeating or overtreating or overworking. We use that external to pull us away from, how am I really feeling about turning 57 years old? And to be perfectly honest, right, what's the alternative to aging? I'll take aging any day over the alternative, because I'm not done doing my work yet. So every added year I get is a blessing. I don't care if structurally I'm changing. Of course, I'm changing structurally.
It
It's
is
like
inevitable.
it's the gift
Yeah.
of age. So we can buy all the products, and we can, get all the latest whatevers, and, and spend everything on on vanity, or we can continue to take care of our host, the physical body that hosts me. We take care of that, and we allow ourselves to age gracefully, with grace and wisdom. I wouldn't have the wisdom I have if I hadn't had all the experiences and all of the time and energy and effort that's gone into this journey, these trips around the sun.
Skipping, crawling, however we get around there.
Yep. As long as you cross that finish line and you get to start again. Yes.
Yeah, I think, like this past weekend, there was a big, movie that came out with somebody who could have been in that movie, and is not with us anymore now physically. Their body's not physically here, but their spirit is here. And the fact, that reflection of knowing them go, it can go so fast. We don't know when. We are guaranteed it's going to happen.
There are things you cannot control.
That's it. So what we always talk about, right? Like that rearview mirror. Okay, it's okay to allow that, but you gotta then come back to this present moment. Be here
and appreciate and find the things that are working for you. Find the things that are inspiring you. Find the things that are allowing you to remain open, remain excited, engaged in your own life.
Make a little list. Find a piece of paper and write down, even if it's just 5 things that you can go around and be grateful. And then if it can grow, even better. And who are those around you that are bringing you up?
Right. So 5 people that inspire you, whether they're people or people you listen to on podcasts, or people you read about, or people that you pass who are sitting on the bench having coffee in the morning, breathing, right? You don't even have to know their names. Lady on the bench with coffee every morning, like maybe she inspires you.
Yeah. I had a guy who inspired me, Susan, every morning when I took the train at 5 in the morning. This gentleman, I never got to know his name. He was an older person. And I used to look at him and go, if he can do this, why am I complaining? Because I have to get to work and be here at 5 in the morning, take this 5:02 train that I'll never forget because I was not the best at it, but so that I can get to my job. And this gentleman is standing there every single day with a smile, walking back and forth. That I used to be running right before the train got there.
Out of breath, sweating. And
then one day I looked and I said, wow, I admire this gentleman.
Man on the train.
Yeah. On the train. Got me motivated. He motivated me. Without knowing, he motivated me to get to that train. Because I used to say, if I don't get to this train, then I'm not, what am I like, I was like, how could I complain?
Well, you were going to miss his energy too. You're going to miss connecting with his energy. So whether you never had a conversation with him, right? No. You just knew that he was a thing, that he existed, and that he changed you. And that's where we go back to, like, you get up every day and you be your best version of yourself. You have no idea what you're putting out there and what people are taking, right? Yes. But the flip side is, if you're dragging yourself around with, 5,000 pounds of boulders behind you, and everything is a complaint, and you're the naysayer and nothing is ever good enough, that's what you're giving people too. So pay attention to what, we get 365 days to contribute every year. Your best version of you, which might be technologically challenged today. It might be, right? Might be technologically challenged today, but But it's all teaching us. It's teaching us patience. It's teaching us kindness. It's teaching us compassion. It's teaching us to stand up for ourselves. It's teaching us to have boundaries. Like this is what we need as we function. So today I'm going to be the best version of myself, not attaching to what happens or how other people glean whatever it is that they need to glean from me or from whoever else. Right? Not attached to the outcomes, not expecting. We have no idea our impact on a daily basis. You could be the woman at the stoplight. You could be the person on the park bench. You could be the person who, just simply enters the room and everything feels safer. We do not know.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't need to know. Our ego wants those accolades or those, you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yes. Let's talk about the ego, Susan. Let's slow down about the ego. Let's talk a little bit about the ego because it's so easy to make it so like blissful. Let's take a breath and be in the moment. But there is the ego who's there to protect you.
Yeah.
The ego wants to protect you. And when you're not loving yourself and filling the cup and telling that inner child, a younger you, whoever is reaching out for help, and the ego comes charging through and saying, this is a F day, I don't want to deal with this.
Yes. So we have to soothe our own ego. So I just read recently, and it's funny, it comes up today because of course it comes up today.
Of course it comes out today.
So I
Hello.
just read, I've been doing some reading on the 7 archetypes of the ego, and we'll get into those. I can't do that today, but we will get into those. But just to break it down, the ego, right, is the protector of the wounded inner child. You just made reference to that. So the ego comes to our defense anytime we feel threatened by life, by society, because we were, vulnerable little children when things went awry, when things happened in our life, and we learned how to cope with them based on our family dynamics. So we're still using those same coping skills, even though we're older, we're wiser, we know things differently, right? We know how to take care of and how to protect ourselves until the ego comes in like a bull in a china shop and sends us back to the old temper tantrum, the old withdrawal, the old hide. You know what I mean? Like those
Yes.
are the things. So we have to acknowledge the ego. We're never going to get rid of it. We need it.
Mm-mm.
We need it. It's a part of our functioning life. But when we embrace it and we become more aware and more compassionate and more understanding, and we can kind of tell the ego, hey, it's okay. I got this. I got this. I appreciate you. It's like the knight in shining armor. If you have the vision, right? So as a little kid, you're waiting for this rescuer, and this rescuer shows up in the form of this unseen ego that that does its best to encompass or protect you or push you out of the way or whatever it is that you need in that moment. So we're not looking anymore externally, right? We're able to say, hey, I'm in my power. I got this, thank you for showing up. I can respond differently now. I have new awarenesses. I have new wisdom. I have new understanding of the perspective. I can see the circumstances that I grew in from the eyes of an adult now versus the eyes of the child. So, so we can develop a healthier, more balanced relationship with our ego.
And it starts there because once you start with the ego in yourself, in that body that we're talking about, this beautiful being human here, we start taking care of that we can then take care of others.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
we do it the other way around. We take care of others because also our ego wants that pat in the back,
Mhm.
right? I've boundaries.
Well, the caretaker
And
is one of those archetypes.
caretakers, here comes the caretaker of everybody, and then grouchy because you're depleted,
So
you're
we can
tired.
so we can assist others in taking care of themselves in a more healthy fashion if we have a better relationship with our own ego, with our own inner child, with our own circumstances that have created who we are.
Okay, so for the last 5 minutes that we have, Susan, because it always runs fast, what are some great tips that we can give our audience to work on this? I know that I always talk about journaling, writing down. We just talked about the 5 people that are around you. Write down 5 things, and it's okay, guys, if you get to 3. If you like, I woke up this morning, I have toothpaste, I have water, whatever it is, guys, be simple.
You could write
Don't
this.
let
You could write the same thing Amaryllis 5 times. Like, so
yeah,
as long as there's 5 things written, it could be the same
yeah.
thing 5 times. Yeah.
And don't let the ego get in the way, because that's where the ego comes in and go, oh, water, really? We're gonna like talk about clean water? Yes.
There are places that do not have clean water. It
There
is
are
a
places that do not
gift.
have a flushing toilet.
That's
There
right.
is that simple, guys. It is that simple to be grateful. And you start being grateful, and then your list will grow more than 5 when you start that small, because it's all baby steps. And don't forget, if the ego starts getting in, just put it to the side and say, deep breath and
Yeah.
be in the
Thank
moment.
it. Thank you for showing up.
Thank you.
So write the 5 things, pay attention
Yes.
to the 5 people, even if it's the same person 5 times, you can have gratitude times 5. It's great. Um, thank your ego. Thank that protective mama bear piece of you that, that helped you. So, we want to understand that age, it's funny, it comes back to this, isn't it? Age and wisdom. So, whether you're a teenager or a young adult or middle-aged or moving into the later stages, maiden, grown, male, female, whatever it is, honor yourself where you were at that time. So often we judge ourselves for the things that we didn't do when we were in circumstances and situations earlier in life. Honestly, we didn't have the wisdom, we didn't have the resources, we didn't have the support. So remind yourself that, you really were doing the best you could in whatever survival mode you needed to be in, and that your ego helped you with that. But that also allowed you to grow to where you are today. And you are who you are today as a result of the accumulation of all the experiences that you had, but you're not still who you were. So we can shift the perspective on things as time and distance and wisdom and kind of develop. We develop beyond that state or stage where we were. It's really important to just pay attention, to really who you are and how you're feeling, and honor and validate those feelings, and honor and validate who you are as you're feeling them. Don't dismiss them. Don't, make light of them. Don't push them under. Don't bury them. Yeah. It's always great to, go back to the 5, find someone that you trust that you can talk to, not solicit advice from, but, simply have those conversations with, because things always seem so much larger inside of our head. And when we put them out there with people we trust, whether it's, a counselor or a coach or, a best friend who's not going to give you unsolicited, maybe unwarranted advice, we put it out there, it becomes much more manageable. It seems less overwhelming. So, it's just super important to just be aware. Don't judge. Be compassionate. Find grace. Move slow. Move slow. Get what you
Rest
need.
is important. Rest is
You-
important. The
Yeah.
ego tells us we gotta be moving 100 miles per hour and doing 5 different things at once. And if we're not being productive, again.
Can be counterproductive to be productive.
So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you, Susan, for being here today again.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you. Happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All blessings. All blessings.
Bye, guys.